Could you tell me specifically how AI might be used to deal with these threats from North Korea?
Well, thanks for the question, and actually I'll break it down in two ways. First of all is the cyber threats, and one of the things that we know is that North Korea does use cyber as a way to get around sanctions, as a way to make money getting around sanctions. And the U.S. works with the ROK doing exercises and trying to make sure we build our knowledge and capacity to combat those kind of threats. And that's something that we're doing. But regarding AI, in terms of generally AI, we want to make sure that, there's a lot of positive things that AI can be used for, but we also want to make sure that AI is also used in a way that's responsible. And so the way that we would integrate AI into cyber would be with those kind of concerns and those kind of thoughts, is how can we improve our abilities to address the threats from North Korea, and if AI is used, how can we make it easier for us to address those threats and figure out how to address those threats, but in a way that's done responsibly.
There's concern that North Korea might carry out provocations like nuclear tests before the U.S. presidential election in November. So how do you think this will play out, and how should we prepare?
One thing that I think should be highlighted is that the U.S. and ROK have been working for many years on ways that we can strengthen our extended deterrence, ways in which we do exercises, so that we are ready to deal with any kind of situation with North Korea. And that's something that we've been doing for the many years that we've had our relationship together, 70 years. And so, that's not going to change. We're still, our commitment remains as it always has been, ironclad. And so for us, that's the focus, that we continue to work together, continue to strengthen our relationship, continue to strengthen extended deterrence. And that's the focus, and we will address any situation that we need to with North Korea.
And you co-hosted EDSG last week.
Yes, I did.
Yes, and I heard it was the first time of scenario-based discussions. So can you share more details about that?
Yes, and I do want to say first that it was a really good conversation and meeting that we had last week in Washington, D.C. And really, it was my third time doing it, and I have seen in those 2 years just how much that our relationship continues to strengthen and grow. I can't go into details about the scenario because that's it's classified information. But what I can say is that there was a clear recognition throughout that we will this whole of government approaches to the way we address the threats and the situation with North Korea. We will continue to work together in a whole of government approach to look at what's the right way to address threats, and ultimately our commitment remains ironclad throughout.
But with the U.S. presidential election coming up, so do you think the system like the Ncg or EDSG will stay in place no matter who's in charge?
And here once again I want to emphasize the long-lasting relationship that we have had over 70 years. And through those years, we've strengthened those relationships with the Ncg and the EDSCG. So this is long-standing and has lasted through many administrations. So we are very committed and remain committed to our relationship and our extended deterrence with South Korea.
Actually, yesterday, North Korea just revealed a new type of ICBM launch platform. So how do you view the ICBM threats from North Korea, and what measures are being taken in response?
Like I said, we continue what we always do and continue to show our commitment to South Korea. We see these provocations from North Korea, but we remain firm. We remain committed, and we will continue our exercises. We will continue our meetings with the Ncg. We'll continue the EDSCG. We will continue all the bilateral relationships we have with South Korea. Nothing's going to change despite the DPRK's provocations. The important thing is that they recognize that our commitment is ironclad with South Korea.
Some analysts said the focus has shifted from denuclearization to extended deterrence. So, do you agree that denuclearization is getting harder in North Korea? And if so, do you think it is still necessary? What do you think are the most effective methods?
I think it's important to note that these are not exclusive, mutually exclusive ideals. Deterrence, extended deterrence is important, and denuclearization remains important, and they both are, like I said, they're not mutually exclusive. The U.S. remains committed to denuclearization. We have continued to, from the very beginning of President Biden's coming into office, was very clear with the North Koreans that we're ready to talk. And we've maintained that. They, of course, have not responded in a positive way. So we continue to do what we need to do to strengthen the extended deterrence, but also still committed to denuclearization.
Okay. Actually, in South Korea, there's concern that the NCG alone might not be enough to handle the North Korean nuclear threats. So some are even suggesting we should look into bringing back the tactical nuclear weapons from USA, or even building our own. So what are your thoughts on this idea?
Two things. First of all, the NCG is part of the complementary things we do together. You have the NCG, you have the EDSG, you have the military exercises, you have all the bilateral engagements that we have. So the NCG is not just one thing that we have. But also want to highlight that the ROK and President Yoon has been committed to the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, committed to not developing nuclear weapons, but mostly, as we've been doing, to strengthen the extended deterrence and to do what we need to do to ensure that people in South Korea understand that our commitment is ironclad, and we believe that we start in the EDSCG and having the nuclear consultative group, as well as everything else, are ways in which we're showing how committed we are to South Korea.
Okay, this is my last question.
Okay.
North Korea and Russia's weapon trading is getting stronger. So it is reported that 56 of the missiles Russia launched came from North Korea. So what do you think Russia gave North Korea in return?
We're not exactly sure of everything that they have been giving North Korea, but I think the important thing is that, that is a relationship that's very concerning. We know that there are a lot of countries concerned about this relationship and what each country might be giving each other. Any way that Russia will be giving something to North Korea that can strengthen this military, or anything that North Korea is giving to Russia in its fight in Ukraine. So we are very concerned about that. And it's very important that not just the U.S. and South Korea, but that the international community condemn that type of relationship, and what they could be actually giving each other to strengthen each other's military defense military base.